All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, the blameless to the elders and apostles of greatness stone, Shalom to the elect which in the sword in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receive with mercy and Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahawashi is the name of his only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahawashi, whom dwelling only called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning Russia and Iran and their allies. You know, whether they want to be China, North Korea, the various countries in the Middle East and in so-called Africa. Because this is all prophetic. These things that you're witnessing now taking shape around the world, these alliances being agreed upon by various countries, these things have been written aforetime for our learning. Because in Ezekiel 38, the scripture prophesied that Russia is going to be a guard unto these nations. So I'm going to bring forth this precept and run a video, you know, because I'm not going to make this video long, but I want you to watch this video that I'm going to play and listen, yeah, and pray Yahweh shall open your understanding to what's really taking place now upon the earth here, because the lines are being drawn in the sun, division is taking place right around the world here. So this is Ezekiel 38 verse 1. He said, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." And this represents the landmass of Russia. You know? And say, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hook into thy jaws." And the Lord will turn them back to that old Soviet spirit, yo, the USSR spirit. "And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horsemen, and horses, and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords." Persia, and you're supposed to know who are Persia. Persia are the modern day Iran. Ethiopia, as Matthew said, these various countries in Africa, so-called Africa, which is the land of Am. Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomar and all its bands. The house of Tagorma of the north quarter and all his bands, and many people with thee. So listen what the scripture says now. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself. And where I watch now is the preparation for the great war to come. "Thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." And this is the times that we're in now, in which Yahweh I put it in the minds of these various countries around the world to prepare for war, yo. When you read Joel 3 verse 9, let me get that. I'm not even quoted. This is Joel 3 verse 9. It said, "Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshare into swords, and your pruning hook into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what we're witnessing now. And one of the reasons why the weak can say them strong, not just because them have weaponry or advanced weaponry, is because them have Russia and China to back them now, yo. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cast thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, which is represent the angels. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, which is over there in the Levant, because it's going to be the main battle region. Let's look up Levant. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And when you read Zephaniah 3 verse 9, the Lord said, this time determination, to gather all nations so he can pour upon them his indignation. Read Isaiah 34, where the Lord had declared this unto the nations. Verse 30, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. And we're witnessing all these things come to pass now, yo. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And we see that the day of the Lord is near due to what the prophecies that are unfolding now. That's why in Romans 13 verse 11 says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. The scripture also said in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 1, of the times and the seasons, brethren, I have no need to write unto you. Why? Because we see the prophecies lining up that were written aforetime. So let's listen to this clip.
21st century. And were you in their spot, you would be the same, in my view, and I would. Where do they go? I had one interesting comment. Our conversation with Zaganoff was repeated with Lebed. They talked about they don't want this NATO expansion. They know it's not in their security interest and on, and said, well, and if you do that, we may have to look to China. And I couldn't help using the colloquial expression from my state by saying to Zaganoff, lots of luck in your senior year. Good luck. And if that doesn't work, try Iran.
We understand that President Putin is going to meet with the president of one of the newer members of the alliance, Iran, later today, and NATO member Turkey looking to join this group. What are you expecting?
Yeah, well, he's going to meet with President Pezeshkian. We were, Christine, expecting there to be an announcement. When I say we were, Iran suggested that they would sign a new agreement with Russia, and that hasn't happened. We assume it's going to happen at some point, but it's a similar agreement that Russia signed with North Korea just earlier this year. So there will be again. I mean, to ignore what's happening here in Kazan and with these countries would be foolish. It's a sign again of a growing alliance between Russia and North Korea and Iran and countries like China, and that is something that is a threat.
And I would fully expect Putin to be supporting Iran in any conflict with Israel. That's likely to be the case with Russia and Iran.
The heads of the U.S. intelligence agencies appeared on Capitol Hill and told lawmakers China, Russia, and Iran are increasingly working together against American interests.
China is working to develop its own form of multilateralism while deepening its relationship with Russia and Iran in particular.
Avril Haines, the director of national intelligence, testified that China and Russia are making preparations for cyber attacks on the U.S. in case there is a war with America.
Both China and Russia effectively trying to pre-position themselves in ways that would allow them to conduct those kinds of attacks.
Well, that's an interesting question. So at this juncture, China, of course, is the biggest and most powerful of the countries. It's also it's driving a lot of what's happening. The relationship now between China and Russia is a subservient relationship.
Russia is far more desperate than Mr. Putin is wanting to let on. They've lost, we don't know exactly how many Russian soldiers have been killed, but well over 100,000, something hundreds of thousands. And so the Russians are very desperate.
Когда натовцам надоест с нами воевать, это у них тоже спросите. Мы готовы к продолжению этой борьбы. И победа будет за нами.
At this juncture as well, as you're following closely in the Middle East, despite pressure from the international community, Israel continues its battle against terrorism that is being sponsored by Iran. And so Iran is also in a desperate situation. So at this juncture, it's very important for your viewers to understand that with Mr. Zelensky's help and with Israel's steadfastness, the Crips are actually up against the wall, and it's going to be interesting to see China manages the next steps.
It's very interesting.
شما یک ارتباط راه برد.
Let's see how they manage the next steps, yeah?
و این غیر قابل اجتناب قطعا برای ما خیلی مفیده، همان گونه که برای کشور عزیز روسیه و همسایه عزیز ما مفیده. ما میتونیم یک تعامل سازنده هم در چارچوب بریکس که با پشتیبانی شما ما عضو دائم شدیم و در اوراسیا و شانگهای که و این تحریمی رو که آمریکا بر ما تحمیل کرده و بر شما بیشتر داره این روند رو ادامه میده و تمامیت خواهی که داره در دنیا ایجاد میکنه به هم بزنیم و قادر باشیم با هم دیگه ارتباطات اقتصادی، سیاسی، فرهنگی، علمی و کارشناسی داشته باشیم و امیدوارم که به سرعت بتونیم این تفاهمنامه ها رو با هم امضا کنیم. Главное, был подтвержден взаимный курс на всемирное укрепление наших связей. Они находятся на подъеме, носят подлинно дружественный, конструктивный характер. Скоро мы сможем закрепить достигнутые результаты новым большим межгосударственным договором о всеобъемлющем стратегическом партнерстве между Россией и Ираном. Продолжим сегодня обсуждение наиболее актуальных международных тем, включая драматическое развитие событий на Ближнем Востоке, положение дел в Сирии и Закавказье. В целом, подчеркну, что подходы России и Ирана к глобальной повестке дня близки или полностью совпадают. Ваша нынешняя поездка в Россию первая в должности президента Исламской Республики Иран. И это имеет большое символическое значение. Иран стал полноправным членом БРИКС, и вы знаете, что мы активно...
But we've touched upon this earlier. What would you say is the ultimate goal of this alliance, or is it ultimate goals, different ultimate goals?
Yeah, so it's a singular. Each has their own regional goal, of course, in East Asia, in the Middle East, and in Central Europe. But their goal fundamentally is the same, which is to bring down what has been an incredible period of peace and prosperity since the end of the Second World War, a system that is built on democracy and good governance. And
No, that's a lie, yo. No peace and no prosperity. If people not go by way, USA go sanction the people in the economy, and that's the way the man want break from if they just a read what they must say, you know. But this is what I wanted to show you. These countries are preparing for the battle to come. So with that I want to say Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Yahweh Korash. Shalom.